All right, all right. It looks like we are live. We'll start off with our chant. Ain't no live like a Bri Hive live because a Bri Hive live so fly. How are you guys doing, Bri Hive? For those of you who do not know me, I am Boss Attorney Bri, and I am a California licensed attorney where I practice trademark law and family law. And here on this channel, we cover celebrity lawsuits, trademark lawsuits, and copyright lawsuits, and really whatever lawsuit pops up that we find interesting. So, welcome into the live stream. If you guys are new here and you're not subscribed yet, make sure to hit the subscribe button. And if you are watching live or watching on the replay, make sure to hit the thumbs up button because it helps us find more friends here on the YouTube. So, today we are going to be covering the craziness that we call Amber Heard's life right now. She just has so much going on. If you were here on the last stream, you know that I said we would cover Johnny Depp's response to Amber Heard's post-trial motion. And then we will also be covering her insurance lawsuit because her insurance company is suing her. However, the court went ahead and made a decision on the post-trial motion. So for now, we are going to be skipping Johnny Depp's response, but we are going to be going over the decision made by the judge. And we're also going to be going over the actual insurance company suing Amber Heard. Like, she can't catch a break. And I know Amber Heard is our friend sometimes, right? But she just cannot catch a break when it comes to these lawsuits. She went through defamation, she lost that, partially won on it. And then now her insurance company is basically saying they are not paying for this judgment. So we'll get right into that in just a moment. I'm going to go ahead and address the chat. I was in backstage, so I went ahead and left some comments for you guys just to let you know that I am back there. I was just saving some space on my StreamYard so that we can save this stream. So we have Amanda always here supporting the live stream saying, always ready for the crazy, Bri. Yes, we are ready for the craziness that we are calling Amber Heard's live right now. And then we have her life, not her live. We're on live. Okay. Sabrina Massa Stein says, ready to roll. Well, welcome into the live stream. Nice to see you here again. We have Amanda saying to take my time because I was running a tad bit late, a little earlier than last time, though. So that's good. And Amanda is saying afternoon from sunny Alaska. What is the time difference there in Alaska? I'm in California. What time is it there? It's about 4:40 p.m. here. And we have Emily Tracy. Welcome back to the live stream saying, hey, chat. Hello to you as well. And we have Sage Moon. Welcome back to the live stream. Always here supporting, saying, hey, Bri and hey, Bri Hive. Hey, how are you doing, Sage Moon? And Amanda says, hey, guys, Judge A was on that decision. She was kind of firm and only a dash of snarky. Yeah, and we're going to check it out. And so it was actually a lot shorter than I thought it would be. She didn't really address all the allegations, all the claims in there because she had already made a ruling on them during the trial. So it is a little bit shorter than I expected. But that's okay because we have plenty of things to cover. We are also going to cover that insurance lawsuit. So we are a good couple of minutes into the live stream. Actually, that was a fast introduction, fast chat intro there. And then we also have Betsy here saying, your flowers are beautiful. Yes, thank you. I took them out of the paper. If you guys are on the last stream, you saw Alpha bring them in. So I took them out of the paper and I added the sugar as recommended. So we'll see. They already do look better. So I think that does work. We have Michaela Dawson saying, hey, Bri and hey, chat. Hello. Welcome back into the live stream. We are so happy to have you here. Okay. Let's jump right into the order being denied. Poor Amber Heard, right? She filed this motion thinking that she was going to have a better chance at maybe, not having to pay $10 million. But Judge A said, nay, we're not going to do it. Okay, so let's see what we have going on here. Coming straight from the judge's desk, we have order for the Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard lawsuit for defamation. And let's just do a little recap if you guys were not here, I'm just assuming that everyone was here last stream on, when did I cover this? Did I cover this on Tuesday? No, I covered this last week. Yeah, so last week we covered Amber Heard's post-trial motions, which she was trying to get the jury verdict thrown out because basically she said they awarded Johnny Depp too much money. It wasn't just. We went through the whole entire motion brief, or not brief, the post motion. Yeah, I guess it would be a brief then. Yeah, post trial motion. We went through the whole thing and found that she just thought they awarded him too much money. They basically based it on he didn't provide enough evidence of money that he actually lost. They based it on the fact that he stated that he was never going to do the Pirates movie, and that Disney had already came out before the publication that he was not going to do the Pirates movie, and claiming that they based the damages back to 2016, where I said that was improper because you don't know what they based the numbers off of because they didn't provide us that information. And so she also went on to say that jury number 15 was not properly vetted, and apparently I think it was he was supposed to be born in 1945, but in fact he was born in 1970, which would make him a lot younger than what he was supposed to be. We talked about that and how it could have potentially been people that live at the same house with the same name, and maybe they left off the junior or anything of that nature. And so the order actually mostly talks about that situation. So basically, Amber wanted a new trial or for the jury verdict to be thrown out in hopes probably that it wouldn't go back to trial. But Judge A is like, nay, no, we're not doing it, okay? We're not doing it. Let's see what the chat has to say here. We have Amanda saying, I am 1 hour behind you in Alaska. I love it that you are on CA time because when it's Eastern, 4 hours ahead of us. So like 3:40 here. Yeah, a lot of the law tubers are on the East Coast. So it's hard for me to like collaborate or like get my schedule to go with this because I'm still working when they're going live. So I'm happy that I have a good time for you. And Amanda says, sugar always keeps them perky for longer, kind of like a good bra. That's a good analogy. We have Sabrina saying, love that Bri also in Cali. One of the few law tubers in my time zone. Yeah, a lot of the law tubers are on the East Coast, which it can get hard to try to pop in, especially when they're on those early morning streams or they're like 9 o'clock, but it's 6 o'clock here. And it's like, oh, no. I'm not getting up that early to stream. Maybe I will one day, but for now, no. We have Amanda saying, oh, what area? I have family in Watsonville, Santa Cruz. Oh, cool. All right. And then we have Callie Tangerine. Welcome back to the live stream, saying, seems like Team Amber Heard was just grasping at straws. And I am going to assume that they are going to continue to grasp at straws because I think they're going to continue to try to bring this to appeals. I hope they don't, but I think they are going to try to appeal this. And then Sabrina is in the Oakland Bay area. I was born in Oakland, didn't grow up there, but I was born in Oakland and I'm in Sacramento area. So we're pretty close. Sabrina. Real close. Okay, so let's jump back into the order. Let's see what Judge A has to say about this nonsense that Amber Heard had in her post-trial motion. I don't know why I keep mixing up those words. Okay, this cause came before the court upon defendant Amber Laura Heard's post-trial motion. Side note, do you guys remember when Elaine called Amber the wrong name? They called her Laura Amber Heard right when she called her to the stand. Not a good look. Okay, back into the order. After review of defendant's post-trial motion, plaintiff's opposition, and the relevant statutes and case law, it is therefore ordered as follows. Defendant Amber Laura Heard's post-trial motion 1 through 6 are denied for reasons stated on the record. So basically, Judge A is not going to go back into why they're denying it because it was already explained during a hearing or during actual court, right? Next, defendant Amber Laura Heard post-trial motion 7 is likewise denied for the reasons outlined below. For the purpose of, and you guys know I cannot say this word, voir dire, it is is to obtain a fair and impartial jury. Voir dire is necessary to ascertain whether any juror has any interest in the case or any bias or prejudice in relation to it, and that he, in fact, stands indifferent in the cause. The summons issued to juror number 15 listed his legal name and address, and no birth date was noted. So remember, they kept harping on the fact that, oh, his birthday was supposed to be in 1945, but he was actually born in 1970, which makes him 25 years younger than how old he was supposed to be. Now, the court is saying that his birthday was not even listed. So what the heck are you guys talking about on the summons, right? Okay, so the court has pulled Juror 15 questionnaire attached as redacted, filed under seal. Juror 15 completed the jury questionnaire as himself, filling in his proper birth date. So you guys should have noticed that it wasn't who you thought it was going to be with the 1945 or whatever loophole you basically tried to find from the jury questionnaire that was filled out. The information presented on the jury questionnaire matches the information Juror 15 provided to the court. Juror 15 was vetted by the court on the record and met the statutory requirements for service. So due process right there. The parties also questioned the jury panel for a full day and informed the court that the jury panel was acceptable. Therefore, due process was guaranteed and provided to all parties in this litigation. Voir dire was conducted in a fair and impartial manner, with the court and both parties examining potential jurors. There is no evidence of fraud or wrongdoing. And so remember, in Amber Heard's post-trial motion, it was basically trying to insinuate that the juror was pretending to be someone he was not. Like, it was supposed to be his dad that showed up. They happened to have the same name. And he just showed up and pretended to be his dad, maybe because his dad didn't want to do the trial, right? Or that he just showed up with no summons, but just showed up and said, hey, I want to be a part of the jury. And for some reason, both sides missed it and the judge missed it. So that's basically what they were insinuating. But what the court is saying, that is not the case here. They're saying, hey, he got the summons. You guys saw his jury questionnaire. He was properly vetted. He went through the day of questioning and you didn't have any issues. So why are you bringing this up now? Okay, so further, the defendant was provided the jury list 5 days prior to the commencement of trial and knew or should have known about the mistake at any time during the 7-week pendency of this trial. She had every opportunity to object to or to voir dire on this issue. Parties generally must make objections at the time of ruling or order is made to put the court on notice that an issue is meant to be preserved. So here is another mistake the judge is pointing out, basically saying you guys didn't even reserve the issue because you should have objected to this at the time that you guys were either analyzing the jury or when, if you didn't notice for whatever reason before that part, objected during the hearing. It was 7 weeks that you had to object to this. And basically, since you didn't object to this, the court could not be on notice that you were going to raise this issue. And at this point, I feel like they're just trying to grab for any and everything because remember, in the media, they were out there saying that the jurors had improper information and that they were using social media and all of this stuff. Remember, they were saying that. So I was very surprised that the issue that they brought up is that it was the wrong person. But you guys were all in the media saying that, they had improper information, That would have probably been a better thing to bring up than, it was the wrong person. It was supposed to be his dad. Why didn't you say that in the media? Okay. Maybe they didn't want to show us their hand. I don't know what the motive was behind this. Okay. So despite defendant's assertion in footnote 9 of her motion with the Virginia Code, any error in information shown on such copy of the jury panel shall not be grounds for mistrial or assignable as error on appeal. And the parties in the case shall be responsible for verifying the accuracy of such information. because they have the right to object to these people. So they should have objected to the people. And if you guys remember from last week's stream, Amber Heard's team tried to make it seem like it was the clerk's fault that they did not catch this error. The clerk was supposed to look at their ID. I don't know if you guys remember that, but that was in the post-trial motion for Amber. The clerk should have looked at the ID and saw that the birthdays did not match. Judge A is saying, no, you were in charge of verifying the identity, not my clerk. Don't blame it on the court. So that's a very interesting thing. And the court decided to bold it for them and emphasis added to let them know, like, you left off a part of the rule that you were trying to cite improperly. Okay. Oh, and guys, I found this thing back in studio. This is unrelated. This is unrelated to what we're covering. And I think it might help with timestamps. It's called like a stream marker. So I'm going to try to put it in there and see if it actually works as a timestamp. So let's see about that. Did it do anything? Oh, it will appear in video editor. Okay, so I guess it will help me put timestamps into the live stream. So we'll see how that goes a little later on, but it should help with putting some timestamps for the people watching on replay. Okay, back to the actual case. It did work. Okay. Consequently, defendant as well as plaintiff had an affirmative obligation to ensure the accuracy of the information provided for the jury panel. A party cannot wait until receiving an adverse verdict, which is what they did. They waited all the way until the end of the trial to all of a sudden raise an issue, adverse verdict to object for the first time on an issue known since the beginning of the trial. They should have known this 7 weeks ago, more than 7 weeks ago at this point, right? The issue has been waived. So not only are you not properly citing the issue, now you've completely waived the issue. Judge is not having it at all. Okay, even if arguendo, so let's just say for the purpose of argument, the objection has not been waived. Objection to any alleged discrepancy in jury list and any legal disability of potential jurors must be made in accordance with Virginia Code section that provides in relevant part. Unless objection to such irregularity or disability is made pursuant to subsection A herein, and unless it appears that the irregularity was intentional or the irregularity or disability to be such to probably cause injustice in a civil case to a party making objection, then such irregularity or disability shall not be cause for summoning a new panel or juror or for setting aside a verdict or granting a new trial. Where's subsection A? I don't know if they cited. Okay. Furthermore, while parties make this objection while following above procedure, the party moving under the code section must provide some evidence of prejudice. Defendant has neither followed the proper procedure nor shown evidence of the prejudice. So basically, they didn't object on time, and they can't prove that his age somehow affected the way that he would decide on the jury, because we don't know. Okay, we don't know if he decided that Amber Heard was liable because she was a young girl, and he wouldn't have thought that if he was an old dude. They basically haven't provided any reason of why his age affected a negative outcome for Amber. And they should have objected to it a long time ago. All right. And so let's pop back into this. And it says defendant does not allege juror 15 inclusion on the jury prejudiced her in any way. The juror was vetted, sat the entire jury, deliberated, and reached a verdict. The only evidence before the court is that this juror and all jurors followed their oaths, the court's instructions and orders. This court is bound by the competent decision of the jury. So basically saying the jury did their job. The jury did their job, and the court is not going to overturn what the jury decided just because Amber Heard is not happy with the decision. What do you guys think about this? We're going to look at the actual questionnaire to see what the jury actually selected in their what they went ahead and selected on their form, and if Amber Heard's team should have been put on notice immediately after seeing the form. The judge has said that the juror filled out the form as themselves, so they should have noticed that it didn't say 1945 while they were vetting the jury, and that's why the judge is not agreeing with this nonsense that Elaine has put out there. I really hope they don't file an appeal. I really hope they don't. They're wrongly citing case law for one, and the judge is calling them out for it. And they're losing on everything. It might be time to give up. It might be time to give up. So let's check out what the chat has to say. I'm putting a marker. Okay, we got it. Okay, let's see what the peeps are saying. We have Callie Tangerine saying, so if Elaine is the lead attorney on this, she has to sign off on all docs. Like, now that trial has ended, where's Rottenborn? Elaine, I'm thinking, yes, since she's taking the lead on this, and let's talk about this. Rottenborn may not even be on board with filing these motions. As we discussed in the other stream, they're not even the same law firm. Elaine took the lead. Elaine took the case in a different direction, obviously, than Rottenborn was taking it in. It didn't really seem like they were working all the way together. They weren't meshed very well, in my opinion. So Elaine is signing the documents. She's the lead on the case. She's probably the one moving the motions forward because, in my opinion, she's just too invested in Amber Heard's story. So, yes, she's going to sign off on it. You don't need everybody to sign off on the documents, but let me double check. He may have signed that document. What was that one called? Post-trial motion for Amber. Let's see if Rottenborn signed it. Nope, his law firm is just listed. So no, he didn't sign it. And you really only need one attorney to sign it. And so that's probably why. All right, we have Davs Beat. Welcome back to the live stream, saying they were saving it in case the judgment went against them. And they cannot do that. They absolutely cannot do that. And that is what the judge is telling them. Like, no, we're not dealing with this. Okay. Amanda says, I mean, Team Amber Heard has blamed Judge A, the jurors, JD, social media, randos, the court reporters, and now the clerk. Seems about right. Yes, exactly. They're blaming everyone. Next thing you know, they're going to be blaming law too. And we're probably going to be getting all of our videos striked, right? Callie Tangerine says timestamps would be great. Yeah, I'm going to figure out how to work it, but I still have to go back in editor and do it. So I don't know how great I'm going to do at this. Okay. We have Kiki Don saying, I love the timestamps. I rarely get to catch a live. Okay, so I guess I got to put in more effort for this. More effort. We haven't had Thomas Brown here in a while to help us out either. We have Casharel D saying, hi, hello, and welcome to the live stream. All right, let's see what the peeps are saying. Amanda says, I think Rottenborn had an actual winning strategy and spent the whole trial thinking to himself, if we did this my way, we wouldn't be losing this BS. Amber Heard didn't want to win. She wanted to humiliate Johnny Depp. And the thing is I really think Amber really does believe herself. That's the horrible part, is that she probably thinks her story is true, and Rottenborn is like, no one's gonna believe you, and Elaine is like, yes, Amber, let's go with it. They're not on the same page. No one's on the same page, and you can't win a case like that. You guys have to be on the same page. Amanda says, I thought she would win because she drug him through the mud because she was a woman. And that's what she was hoping for. That's why she wanted to be a part of the Me Too movement and all of the things. Kiki Don says, if the 77-year-old had been picked and sat there for 6+ weeks, that should be elder abuse. Yeah. Maybe that's why he subbed in for his dad, right? Might be the reason why he subbed in for the dad. Okay. We have Callie Tangerine saying Rottenborn was actually a good attorney. I'm kind of glad Elaine was the lead, though. It was a bad case. It was a bad case, bad facts, and a bad, in my opinion, a bad client. Because she wanted to tell her story. She didn't care how much money she spent. She wanted to tell her story. But Rottenborn, he was pretty good. And I don't think Elaine was bad either. I just think she believed Amber too much. And you want to believe your clients, but at the same time, sometimes you got to know when to let it go, right? All right, we have Betsy saying, Bri, love your personality and your ability to break down all this crazy for us. Well, thank you so much. I love having you guys here. Love live streaming. Love live streaming. I'm tired. I got to work after this, but that's okay. We still make our scheduled streams so that, the peeps don't miss out. The Bri Hive does not miss out. All right, Keaton says, I think they're definitely filing an appeal. I hope not. We got to give up on Amber. Let's give up on Amber at some point. Let's give up on her. Or she might need to give up on herself, maybe. Try it. Maybe she should take a break and focus on this insurance lawsuit. But you know what? She's probably going to keep the appeal going. You're probably right. She's probably going to keep the appeal going so that she can string along the insurance lawsuit of saying, oh, you guys may have to pay. You might have to pay because this is going to get overturned. They don't want to pay the $1 million, which we're going to get into in a minute. Hello Swanky says, oh, got some names I don't recognize. How exciting the Bri Hive is growing. Yes, I have seen some new names as well. I don't know if people are just usually watching on the replay and they just caught a live, but I have seen new names as well. So thank you for shouting that out. Z Seltzer, hello, welcome back to the live stream. And we have Amy saying, I'm pretty sure he signed off on it. His law firm is listed on it, but only Elaine is the one that signed the motion. He might be ready to drop out. I would be ready to drop out. Sabrina says age is protected from discrimination, so it's very unlikely a person could be dismissed from a jury on the fact alone without the juror requesting it. And so the issue here would be that they wanted the old person. They're discriminating against the young guy. They wanted the old person on the jury because for some reason they thought that they would side with Amber. But that doesn't really make sense to me because in my opinion, the older generation tends to be a little bit more forgiving of people doing bad things to women. From what I have seen, like pushing aside SA that they know is going on in their family or knowing that a celebrity did SA but still supporting them. Older generation is a little bit more accepting of that than the younger generation. So they might have been better off with the 40-year-old if they wanted Amber to win. But since she didn't win, now they're against him. Amy says, oh, just his fern. Yep. And then we have DeMarcus Howard saying, hey, Bri, hello and welcome to the live stream. I think that's a new name. And then we have Hella Slinky saying, friendly reminder, don't forget to do the YouTube things like subscribe, notification bell. I support the channel. Get perks by becoming a member. Hit join on desktop or the Android device. Yes, of course. Do all the YouTube things. Thank you for reminding me of that because I always forget. Make sure you guys like the video so we can find more YouTube friends, more LawTube friends, and also hit the subscribe if you have not yet. YouTube does not want me to win. I actually lost subscribers since our last stream trying to get the subscribers up. So I don't know what to do. If you guys have any tips on how to grow a channel, let me know. All right, we have Callie Tangerine saying, yeah, but Rottenborn is good at twisting things, which is dangerous, which is kind of a skill you need to be an attorney if you want to win. If you want to win, you want to be able to present the facts that are and make it more favorable to your client. Like it may be bad facts, but you have to present it to make it more favorable to your client, which Rottenborn was trying to do, saying, hey, my client really did believe that she was abused because she was verbally abused. He used mean words to her and she was always feeling down. It was emotional abuse. It was verbal abuse. What is her name? Elaine stuck to it like, no, he beat this lady. He dragged her up and down the hall. She just didn't take pictures of her bruises. I think Rottenborn was more on the lines of which they should have been, because domestic violence can be mental, emotional, disturbing the peace, they call it. You can have abuse in that way. And I think that would have been the best way for her to go. Versus trying to argue the physical abuse side of it, because he had evidence of her actually physically abusing him. Okay, Sabrina says, based on what Judge A put in the order, I don't think he knowingly subbed in for his dad. I don't think he did either. I don't think he did, but that's what Amber Heard's team was trying to basically insinuate, like, oh, he just he wasn't supposed to be here. Because notice they didn't say, oh, it was the wrong name, or he never got the jury summons. They basically insinuated that he was some rando guy off the street, or that he basically subbed in for a person that was born in 1945 and he was actually born in 1970. All right. We have Callie Tangerine says, Amber Heard needs to move on at some point. We can only hope. I feel like the game's over, but I think some of you think that Amber Heard will file an appeal. So let me go ahead and put a poll in the chat. Will Amber Heard... Ooh, I'm getting better at typing with the mic in between my hands. And now that I've said that, I feel like it's going to go bad. Okay, will Amber Heard file an appeal? Boom. Okay, that was better. All right. Yes, no, it depends. We'll put it depends. And then we'll put I don't know. IDK. Okay, so let's put a poll out there for the peeps to let us know what you think. Do you think she's going to file the appeal? Do you think she's not done with this case? The reasons why I think she will file an appeal is especially because the insurance company is trying to pull out of paying the $1 million. Now, what is $1 million to a $10 million verdict? Probably nothing, plus $6 million some odd dollars, probably more than that at this point. $6 million in attorney's fees. She's looking at somewhere close to $20 million. So what is $1 million going to do for that? Not much. That's like what, 5% if it's 20 million? Yeah, I don't know about that. We have Amanda saying to Callie Tangerine, he would probably call it framing, which is technically what I think most good attorneys do. The facts are facts. It's how you frame them that can work for or against you. Exactly. That is exactly correct. You want to make the facts seem more favorable to your client, even when they're not. Like I said, I would have harped on the emotional and verbal abuse. However, Elaine wanted to harp on the essay. What was it, like the phone that was supposed to be on the wall that we never saw. We never saw a picture. It's like, there's a phone in the room. Oh, no, not that phone. There was another phone. It's like, where's the other phone then? Because you're taking a picture of the whole room. Like, Elaine wanted to work with the imaginary facts, while Rottenborn was going to work with the actual facts that they had and make a jury believe, like, hey, emotional abuse is abuse. I'm probably going to get yellow flagged here at some point. Probably at some point. Saying abuse too much. Okay. Sabrina says, if they wanted the older guy, they would have voir-dired him out. They're trying to imply he intentionally and maliciously lied to get onto the jury to sway against Amber Heard. Exactly. That is exactly what they're trying to do. They tried to insinuate that he didn't even have a jury summons, for one. And then, well, maybe because since it wasn't his birthday, they were saying he technically didn't have a jury summons because it was meant for someone else that possibly lived in his house with the same name. However, the judge also said there was no birth date on the jury summons. So what are you guys talking about? What are you guys talking about? There was no birthday on the jury summons. Okay, let's see. All right, so I'm going to pop over to back to the order because we're going to look at the jury questionnaire. Of course, they redacted some things so that we don't know all of this person's information. This is from August 2021 and the jury vetting process. And then you see we have our person who is self-employed. He's an IT manager, so the IT guy. And his birthday is in 1970. So he did not falsely put that he was someone else. He he put it on there as it was him. So even if it was supposed, let's say it was supposed to be his dad to show up, he didn't put in 1945. He didn't try to pretend to be an old man, or let's not say, oh, yeah, that 977 is an old man, huh? He didn't try to be elderly. He put his birthday, which is what, a 52-year-old person? So it's not really his fault that they didn't catch on to this. They had these documents. He went ahead and said that he's a U.S. citizen, he's a resident of Virginia, has been a legal resident of Fairfax County for the past 6 months. He's 18 years age or older. He wasn't like a 17-year-old pretending to be an adult. He's able to communicate the English language. He has not reported to be a juror in the last 3 years in the circuit. He's not unable to serve as a juror due to mental impairment, and has not been convicted of treason or a felony. So he was a proper juror. And they did not object to it in a timely fashion. So you snooze, you lose, basically, is what's happening. You snooze, you lose, Amber. I'm sorry. Hopefully next time you'll do better, because you have plenty of lawsuits to deal with. She has plenty of lawsuits to deal with. So our girl Amber Heard, not only did she lose this defamation case, she's on the line for $10,350,000. A lot of people keep saying $8,350,000, but that is not correct, because they're only going to wipe off that $2 million that she won if Johnny Depp agrees to credit her that $2 million. I haven't seen anything about Johnny Depp appealing, trying to get rid of that $2 million, probably because he doesn't care about the $2 million. And Johnny Depp actually has to put the order to try to collect on it before she's really liable for the money. So she has a little bit of time to play around with these games that she's trying to play around and do. So let's go over to, in addition to the order to deny her post-trial motion, they also unsealed several documents. We're not going to go into that, but I noticed a lot of the law tubers are also mentioning that, so I decided to mention it, but we're not going to go through it because we're going to go through the insurance lawsuit. So let me know if you guys have heard about the insurance lawsuit. Do you think that Amber Heard, do you think that the insurance company should pay Amber Heard's attorney's fees or the judgment to Johnny Depp? They don't want to have to. They do not want to have to. Okay, so let's get into the vote. We have, will Amber Heard file an appeal? We have 15 votes. So if you guys have not voted yet and you would like to vote, go ahead and vote, and then I will jump on that in just a moment. Let me go ahead and check out some of the comments. We have a Jane Stoddart. Hello and welcome to the live stream, saying just finished at Runkle's Live. Glad to catch yours. Glad to have you here. We are so happy to have people in the Bri Hive supporting the Bri Hive and learning a little bit about this. I don't know, has Runkle covered this yet? Or I don't know if he's going to be covering this. I'll have to go look at his channel. Callie Tangerine says, so it is possible that with Rottenborn, she may have won on some counts. Potentially on those, just on those domestic violence survivor counts, potentially. She was not going to win on that SA account at all because she couldn't prove that she was SA'd. Okay. We have Amanda saying, had they leaned into the, let's figure out which one it is, borderline personality disorder diagnosis and ran with it, they could have won. One of the biggest factors with BPD is that memory encoded in stressful situations is incredibly distorted. I think they did lean on it a little bit, but from what you're saying, they probably didn't lean on it in the right way, because okay, her memory can be distorted, but her actually believing what she was saying, I think that might have been a better way to go, or I think that would have been another way to add it on there. They used it for they use the borderline personality disorder to say, oh, she really did believe that she was abused. If they would have added what you said here, I think that could have been beneficial to them for sure. Tanya says, just describe. Well, thank you and welcome to the Bri Hive. We have Tanya D, always here supporting the channel, a member and moderator of the channel, saying, I was actually working and lost track of time, but I'm here now. We are happy to have you here, Tanya, always here supporting the live stream. And then we have another Tanya, Tanya Crew, saying, yes, she can't let Johnny Depp go. Yeah, she's probably going to file this appeal, huh? Let's check out the votes. Okay, we have Will Amber Heard file an appeal. We have 75%. Cannot talk. We have 75% of people on the live stream saying, yes, Amber is going to file an appeal. She does not care that she keeps getting shut down. She's going to file an appeal. Okay, we have 14% saying no, she's not going to file an appeal. She's just going to give up. We hope this is the answer. That she's going to give up. 5% says it depends. And another 5% says, I don't know. We'll see as time goes on, right? So yes, we have majority of you thinking that Amber Heard is going to file an appeal. And I just really hope she doesn't. I think she should just sit down, take a break, and try to figure out how she's going to get some more movie roles so that she can pay Johnny Depp his money. And Amanda says Judge A was pretty strict about that bond being required, and she wasn't lowering that amount. So we will see if someone helps her out. I don't know. I don't think she has the money to put the bond up. Does anybody know if it's a percentage of the amount that she has to put up, or does she have to put up the whole thing? I don't think I've seen any information on that yet. Sabrina says Elaine was concerned about muffins. So Elaine was concerned about muffins. Elaine was concerned about the 15 minutes of fame, that she's going out there and getting her 15 minutes of fame, all kinds of things. Elaine was concerned about everything but the case at this point. All jokes, guys. Okay, Sage Moon says, so glad her motions were denied. She's been reaching for a while, but glad Judge A put a stop to her team's efforting, exposed lies, games, and manipulation tactics. And that's why I keep saying, Amber Heard, the game's over. Let the game be over. Fight this insurance claim. Fight that instead. And then we have Jane saying Runkle covered it tonight. Okay, yeah. So I was like, I didn't see him cover it. Yeah, I know pretty much all of LawTube has been covering it yesterday and today. Sabrina says, love the insurance argument that because it was intentional defamation, they have no liability. Exactly. Good segue over into the next topic. We're going to be talking about the insurance lawsuit. So, as you guys know, because we were just talking about it, Amber Heard was sued for defamation, and she was sued for defamation by a celebrity, which requires actual malice, and actual malice requires that your the reason why you said the things that you said, or you said it with a reckless disregard, or you either said it knowing that it was false. Reckless disregard for the falsity or knowing that it was false all falls under intentional, okay, and actual malice. So let's check out this lawsuit. This one, again, wasn't as long as I expected it to be, so we're going to go through most of it. Some of the stuff just repeats it, so we'll skip over that part, but we're definitely going to go over the factual allegations. And so we briefly mentioned this on the stream from last Thursday? Time flies. Okay. We have in the United States District Court, Central District of California, the Western Division, we have New York Marine and General Insurance Company, a New York corporation, suing Amber Heard, an individual. Just her by herself. Okay. So I don't know why my scrolling is not working here. Okay, let's go. Jurisdiction and venue, we're not going to worry about it. Parties, we're not going to worry about it. We're going to jump right into the factual allegations. New York Marine issued insurance policy, this long number, to named insured under the Black Sky Inc. and Amber Heard for the policy period from July 18, 2018 and July 18, 2019. Those dates are important to see when she was covered, okay? With a per occurrence limit of liability of $1 million. So she can do bad things, and each time they would cover her for $1 million. A true and correct copy of the policy with premium and address information was attached. The policy includes comprehensive personal liability coverage, part which provides coverage for damages because of bodily injury, property damage, or personal injury caused by an occurrence to which the coverage applies. The policy defines personal injury to mean injury other than bodily injury arising out of one or more enumerated offenses included in the policy, which includes oral or written publication of material that slanders or libels a person or organization, including other forms of defamation, or oral or written publication of material, including other forms of defamation that violates a person's right to privacy. So basically, they are just letting the court know that the insurance does cover acts of defamation. Now, if Amber Heard would have defamed a non-famous person like me or someone like me, then I only would have had to prove negligence. She did it negligently, not knowing that it was false. And the company will still pay for that because that's negligent, that's not intentional, it should cover it. But since Johnny Depp is a famous person, you have to prove actual malice. And the insurance company is saying, hey, we do not cover intentional crimes or intentional personal injury. So, and that is not uncommon with insurance companies. It's just not uncommon. Most insurance companies say, hey, if you do it on purpose, we're not going to cover it. If you take a sledgehammer to your ex-boyfriend's car and just slam it, slice it, chop it, whatever you're doing with your sledgehammer, you do that to the car, your insurance company is not going to pay for that. You're going to get sued in civil court and you're going to have to pay for those damages out of your pocket. You can't use your insurance, okay? So this is not uncommon. So she shouldn't be surprised that this was coming. I'm surprised that more of her insurance companies aren't doing this because this was an intentional tort. Okay. So the underlying lawsuit, they're going to kind of break down what's going on with the defamation lawsuit. I know a lot of us are already familiar with it, but we're still going to read through it. Okay. Okay. On March 1st, 2019, Johnny Depp filed a lawsuit against Heard in Circuit Court of Fairfax County. That's the case number. In the underlying action, Depp sought and is seeking damages for defamation based on an op-ed allegedly written by Heard and published in both the online edition of the Washington Post on December 18, 2018, and in a print edition of Washington Post December 19, 2018, and which was republished by Heard in a tweet on December 19, 2018. They attached a copy of the complaint. And as you can see, they said that she republished it because that is what the jury found. On or about September 4, 2019, Amber Heard tendered the underlying action to New York Marine. And so as you can see, all of these dates, or not all of these dates, but these dates fall within the period for the policy, which was July 2018 to July 2019. So December would be all within that, okay? Then Amber Heard went to her insurance company and asked for them to cover her on this. And they're like, no, we're not doing that. On October 1st, 2019, New York Marine accepted Amber Heard's defense of the underlying action subject to reservation of rights. Specifically, New York Marine advised Heard that New York Marine would provide a legal defense, but that to the extent California law does not permit an insurer to indemnify the insured, no indemnity can be provided. Basically saying, we will pay for your costs if it's found that you didn't do it intentionally. Basically, or if it doesn't fall outside of the rules of the California law. And the law that they're asserting is that it is intentional. So they're not going to indemnify her for it. So they're not going to pay for it. Okay. At the time Heard tendered the underlying action, the law firm Cameron McAvoy PLLC was defending Heard in the underlying action when New York Marine accepted Heard's defense. New York Marine agreed to continue the defense of Heard through the law firm of Cameron McAvoy PLLC. New York Marine is informed and believes, and on such information and belief alleges that Heard or her agents instructed other firms defending Heard in the underlying action not to include Cameron McAvoy in Heard's ongoing defense. As a result, on or around November 2nd, 2020, Cameron McAvoy withdrew from defense of Heard in the underlying action. Oh, I didn't know that Amber Heard was basically telling other firms not to allow them, allow Cameron McAvoy to defend her. The underlying action proceeded to trial April 11, 2022. On May 27, 2022, the court in the underlying action issued jury instructions to the jury. They attached the jury instructions. In the jury instruction, the court in the underlying action instructed the jury that with respect to liability issues for Depp claims against her, the juror's verdict must be based on the facts as you find them and on the law contained in all the instructions. The jury instruction also instructed the jury that with respect to liability of Depp's claims against her, the issues for the jury to decide were these statements made by Amber Heard. Amber Heard spoke up against sexual violence and faced our culture's wrath. That has to change. Then 2 years ago, I became a public figure representing domestic abuse, and I felt the full force of our culture's wrath for women who speak out. And I had the rare vantage point of seeing in real time how institutions protect men against abuse. As a finding instruction, the court in the underlying action instructed the jury it shall only return a verdict for Mr. Depp if they find these following things, which we have reviewed before. And basically, one of them is that Ms. Heard said the statements with actual malice. So we're not going to go through all of those things. The court in the underlying action issued a nearly identical finding instruction for each of the other two statements. On June 1st, 2022, the jury in the underlying action returned a verdict in favor of Depp for counts of defamation based on all three statements. This verdict was incorporated into a judgment order, which was entered by the court in the underlying action on June 24th, 2022. Okay. As detailed in the special verdict form with regard to each of the three statements at issue, the jury found that Depp had proven all the elements of defamation and answered in the affirmative in the following questions. Of course, we already went through those questions on our channel. After answering all those questions, yes, the jury also answered yes to the question, do you find that Mr. Depp has proven by clear and convincing evidence that Ms. Heard acted with actual malice? Which brings us to our intent here. And then they're going to get into the actual amount that they awarded to Johnny Depp. And we have the jury awarded Depp $10 million in compensatory damages and $5 million in punitive damages from Heard. However, the punitive damages were reduced to a statutory cap of $350,000 per the Virginia Code. Okay, so those are all the facts for the case. Of course, we already really knew about all the defamation case and things that were going on. And they're basically saying, since Amber Heard acted with actual malice, we're not paying. So let's see why they do not want to pay here. We have first cause of action, declaratory relief as to plaintiff's duty to indemnify Heard for a judgment order under the policy. And so when they're asking for declaratory relief, they're basically just asking the court to make a decision and for it not to really go to trial, but for them to make a decision that that they do not have to pay her insurance policy out to her for this defamation act. Okay, so the first one is under the California Code, Section 533 provides that an insurer is not liable for a loss caused by the willful act of the insured but he is not exonerated by negligence of the insured, which is what I said earlier. If it was negligent, she defamed a small person like me, a person that's not famous, then they would have paid for it. But since she defamed a famous person, it's intentional, they're not going to pay for it. Or of the insurance agents or others. This provision is an implied exclusionary clause, which by statute is read into all insurance policies under California law. Like I said, not uncommon for them not to cover insurance, intentional claims, and in California law, it's just automatically in there. Okay. The jury's factual findings establish that Heard's liability is caused by the willful acts of Heard as a result, as a matter of California public policy and pursuant to California Insurance Code, Section 533. The policy does not provide coverage for Heard's liability as reflected in the judgment order entered on June 24th, 2022. But she might fight this because they're saying under California law, unless the post, but they're saying the post came out in Virginia. That's why they sued in Virginia. And this this marine company is a New York. Are they from New York? Now I got to go back to the parties because, hey, she might have an argument. State of New York. Yeah, they're a New York company. So can they argue the California statute? We'll see. Because, yeah, for California, that applies. But does New York have the same, or maybe because she's a resident of California, they're applying California law to her. Maybe that's the way that they're going. Okay. The jury's factual finding established that Heard's liability is caused by willful acts of Heard. As a result, as a matter of California public policy and pursuant to California Insurance Code Section 533, the policy does not provide coverage for Heard's liability as reflected in the judgment order. An actual controversy has arisen and now exists between plaintiff on the one hand and Heard on the other hand with regard to the duties and obligations owed between plaintiff and Heard under the policy with respect to the judgment order. Plaintiff contends that it has no duty to indemnify Heard for the judgment order entered on June 24th, 2022. Plaintiff is informed and believes on such information that Heard disputes plaintiff's contention and asserts that the policy provides indemnity coverage for Heard for the judgment order entered on June 24th. Due to the actual present controversy described above, pursuant to this code section, plaintiff requests a judicial declaration of rights, duties, and obligations under the policy, determining if said judgment order entered on June 24th, 2022 becomes final on appeal, which suggests that Amber Heard is going to appeal, or otherwise, plaintiff has no obligation to indemnify Heard for the judgment. So that kind of makes me believe that Amber Heard is going to appeal so that she can kind of drag out this, whether this insurance company is going to pay. But they're basically asking for a decision from the court without going to trial. Like, do we have to pay or do we not have to pay? Is this California law going to apply for us so that we don't have to pay? So shouldn't really cost Amber Heard too much money to defend against this. Okay. And so we have the second cause of action, declaratory relief as to plaintiff's duty to indemnify Heard for the judgment in the underlying action. And like I said, some of this kind of repeats itself, so we're going to kind of skip around in this section. California Code 533 provides an insurer is not liable for a loss caused by willful act. I think that part is already covered. As a matter of public policy and pursuant to California Insurance Code 533, the policy does not provide coverage for Heard's liability. It goes on to state the same things as, we don't think that we have to pay, but Amber Heard does think that we have to pay. So can you make a decision letting us know whether we have to pay before or once the judgment is final, either after appeal or after she does not appeal or whatever it might be, okay? And then we have the third cause of action for declaratory relief as to plaintiff's duty to defend Heard in the underlying action, the policy. Because the jury's factual findings regarding Amber Heard's liability to Depp required a finding of willful acts by her to establish liability, California Public Policy and California Insurance Code 533 preclude New York Marine from having any obligation to defend Heard in the underlying action. They go on to say that there's a controversy. They believe they don't have to pay. Amber believes that they do have to pay, and they're asking for a decision whether they need to pay or not once the judgment is final. And then we have a fourth cause of action, declaratory relief as to plaintiff's duty to defend and indemnify Heard in the underlying action, the policy conditions. They go on to say the comprehensive personal liability coverage part of the policy provides conditions, duties after loss, that Heard must help New York Marine by seeing that enumerated duties are performed, including helping New York Marine with the conduct of suits and attend hearings and trial. New York Marine is informed and believes that after New York Marine accepted Heard's defense, Heard both individually and through her agents refused to help New York Marine with the conduct of the suit and instructed other defense firms representing her not to include defense counsel provided by New York Marine in the ongoing defense of Heard in the underlying investigation. So basically, since Amber Heard got rid of the law firm that they hired to defend her, they're saying that they don't need to indemnify her because they didn't actually use who they gave her to use. And so what if she would have won if she would have used the company that they tried to make her use? It looks like I am losing connection. I'm hoping that it shakes back. It looks like it's shaking back. I use the Ethernet cord, so I don't know why it's messing up right now, but it is. And it looks like we're back. Okay, let's try this again, or not try it again, but let's finish this up. Okay, so basically, since they got rid of the company or the law firm that they hired for her, they're like, maybe you would have won if you would have used our law company. Who knows? All right, telling them not to do it. There's an actual controversy, and they need a decision from the court. And so what all are they asking for altogether from this complaint? They are asking for the court to enter a judgment declaring that plaintiffs, which is the insurance companies, have no duty to indemnify Heard for the judgment order entered on June 24, 2022 in the Circuit Court of Virginia, if said judgment order becomes final on appeal or otherwise. They want an order entered that plaintiff has no duty to indemnify Heard on any liability in the Fairfax County court case. They want an order entered that plaintiff has no duty to defend Amber Heard on an ongoing basis in the underlying action, so they don't have to provide a new law firm for her or in connection with any appeal of the judgment in that action. And they also would like an award for New York Marine's costs and any remedy that the court deems just and proper. So they want their money back and any other remedies that they said. Defendant and counterclaimant New York Marine hereby demands a jury trial to the fullest extent facilitated by law. I think defendant, they're saying that Amber Heard wants a jury trial. Okay, so they're requesting a trial, but they ultimately want the court to basically make a decision without going through the whole trial process. But it's weird that they put defendant and counterclaimant wants this. Okay, so this is a quick live stream today. So I'm going to go through a little bit of the chat, and then we're probably going to log out of here today. I skipped the little icebreaker today because I thought this was going to be a longer stream, but no, it's not. Okay, let's see. We have Sabrina saying that heading out. Okay, and that was probably a while ago, so she's probably been gone. So bye, Sabrina. Have a good dinner. Let's see what the chat is saying. We have Sage Moons talking to Hella Swanky saying, hey, how's it going? Oh, you guys are just talking to each other. Daz Beat says, insurance company will do anything not to pay anything out. That is very true. That is very true. So I'm wondering how the California law is going to apply to a New York company for a California resident. That is something that I do not know. So I would be interested in seeing how that pans out. I wonder who Amber Heard is going to hire to fight the insurance company for her. Maybe Elaine. Tanya D says, I'm good. Oh, you guys are talking. Chatting with each other. Okay, let's see. Hello Swinky says to Sage Moon, OMG, right? I've been over it before it ended. If it weren't for loving this channel, I would be totally checked out. But I'm here for Bri's breakdown, so all good. Oh, perfect. I think you guys are talking about Amber Heard and all of the nonsense. I'm hoping that she taps out. I'm with you guys. I'm hoping that she taps out so that we can start covering some different things that the algorithm will pick up other than Amber Heard stuff, right? We have Sage Moon saying, right, this is just cray. Exactly. Always got to tune in and hear Bri break down like a boss. Oh, thank you guys so much. I love having you guys here. Love going through the chat. I'm trying to get better at reading the ones where you guys aren't just talking to each other and just going through the stream in that way. And if you guys have not already, make sure to hit the thumbs up button to help us out in the algorithm so we can find more friends. We found some friends in this stream, so let's try to find some more friends by hitting the like button. If you're not subscribed already, go ahead and hit the subscribe button because we're here twice a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if you like chatting and gossiping about people, celebrities, and the law, then this is the place to be. All right, we have Daz Beats saying, Tanya, it's normal practice for them. Indemnifying as few people as possible is how they make profits. Yep, exactly. Most have tight margins and some lose money in the long run. Yeah, because if you think about it, like the premiums you're paying are really not that much money. So like for insurance, for instance, you might, for car insurance, because that's probably the most common that most of us have, right? You're probably paying, let's say you're paying $150 a month for your car insurance for a pretty new car. And if you get in an accident, your policy limits are $50,000 for one person, or $50,000, I forget what it is, $50,000 for something, and then $100,000 for a whole occurrence. So let's say you hit one person, they can get up to $50,000 per person, and then $1,000 per occurrence, or $100,000 per occurrence. There we go. So if you get in an accident with just one person, they're entitled to up to $50,000. If you get in an accident with like 7 people, they have to split $100,000, right? And so you're only paying $153. Let's say you get in an accident the next month and your deductible is like $1,000. They're getting $1,153 from you for that month. But then they're paying out $100,000. It's like what, 1% of what you actually paid them. So yeah, I can see how insurance companies lose money. Tanya D says, learned that the hard way. My dad was murdered. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Tanya. And they automatically asked if it was self-inflicted, like we didn't know the difference. Shaking my head. Yeah, they do not want to pay out. And so that's what you guys are saying. That's horrible. Offering the condolences. Yes, exactly. I'm super sorry to hear that happened. And I'm hoping that it ended up going well with the insurance company after that. All right. And then we have Daz B saying, Bri, will you cover Twitter versus Musk? I was not going to cover that. I have seen it popping up quite a bit. I'm just not too familiar with it. So I was not planning on covering that. So probably not. I have a couple of cases for next week where it's like my whole chat is moderators. We got to get more friends, guys. We got to get more friends. The whole chat are people that are loyal to this channel. You guys are so loyal to the channel. I love to see it though. Definitely love to see it. I probably won't cover that, but I do have a couple of stories that I found this morning that I wanted to cover, but I knew that I had to hop on this one while it was still relevant. And then next week, we have a couple like trademark things going on. I can't remember everything off the top of my head, but we have a couple of, let me see. I'm going to go look at my email because I emailed them to myself. All right. We have some Love is Blind suing going on. I think that would be a good topic to cover. Basically, not providing safe work conditions for the people on the Love is Blind TV show. I might need to cover that one a little sooner. What else do we have? Yeah, we have a couple of trademark lawsuits going on, copyright lawsuits. We may be able to squeeze Elon in there. I'm just not all the way familiar with it, but I'm pretty sure just covering the complaints will be just fine enough to figure out what's going on there. So that is all we have for today. Thank you guys for joining me here on the Bri Hive Live. We will see you on next Tuesday, and I hope you guys have a great weekend. And if I pop on a random stream this weekend, we might go ahead and cover the Elon Musk stuff. So yes, thank you guys for joining me live today. Make sure to hit the like button on your way out, subscribe button on your way out, and join button if you can spare $5 a month. It helps out the channel greatly. So I will see you on the next live.